The Chinese stock market has been like a roller coaster recently. Due to the impact of the US reciprocal tariff storm on April 7, 2025, the Chinese stock market suffered a heavy blow. Notably, the Shanghai Composite Index fell below the 3,100-point mark, setting the most significant single-day drop in the past 5 years. The Hang Seng Index also fell by 13.22%, the most significant drop since 1997. For this reason, the Chinese internet is full of wailing from stockholders. Let's watch a few videos together. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon now. Nearly 2,500 stocks have hit the limit down. The entire position has hit the limit. I don't know what to do now. It's horrible. The total number of places dropped by more than 10%. Slowly, 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 slowly. Today, I suffered the most losses in my history and still haven't recovered. Let me correct, I didn't lose $57,142. That was in the morning. By the close of the afternoon, I had lost $65,986. I had a full position of 13 stocks and only 2 did not hit the limit. Isn't it said that you can't put all the eggs in the same basket? This is to overturn all my baskets. I woke up to feel like the sky was falling. If I remember correctly, I was still a stock investor yesterday, but became a victim today. When the market opened in the morning, I saw that out of 5,400 stocks in the entire market, more than 5,300 were falling. In the afternoon, the Shanghai Composite Index fell more than 8 points, the Shenzhen Stock Exchange lost 10, and the Chi-Nex fell 14. 3,000 stocks hit the limit, and I have nowhere to complain. If you lose $16,000 or $26,000 in stock trading in one day, is there still any law? Is there still any law? Now I do not dare open my account because it has hit the limit. This morning it was more than 10% underwater, but I was reluctant to sell it then, and then it hit the limit again in the afternoon. Over 3,000 stocks hit the daily limit, but I didn't run away or sell a single share. All 5 of my stocks hit the daily limit. I never expected to encounter such a thing in 2025. This was the day with the most significant single-day loss I have ever experienced. Is there any hope? What if it's the same tomorrow? I thought I wouldn't cry anymore, not because of stocks or finances. I felt I had no emotions, but I still broke down. The market plummeted last night, you know. I lost $16,000 to $26,000 yesterday. Regarding the struggles of the stockholders, one netizen said, "Stockholders can sell or abandon, wake up." Others pointed out, Japan fell 17% in 3 days and didn't say anything. China only fell 7%, but they cried and screamed. They are so weak and they even threatened to fight the US to the end. On April 7, 2025, A-shares showed an opening low and closing low trend. Among them, the Shanghai Composite Index opened at 3,193.1 points, down 4.46%. The CSI 300 opened at 3,675.2 points, down 4.8%. The Shenzhen Component Index opened at 9,747.66 points, down 5.96%, and the Chi-Nex Index opened at 1,925.64 points, down 6.77%. Faced with such an emergency, although people were mentally prepared, they still cried out in pain. My friend asked me how I was doing this morning. When I got off work, 90% of the stocks I held were at the limit down, and ETF stocks were also at the limit down. I lost more than $27,000 in the morning. To be honest, I have never seen this before. This time, it's a big deal. It's horrible, horrible. More than 3,000 stocks are falling, and more than 3,000 stocks are hitting the limit down. It's not a fall, it's a limit down. It's the first time I've seen this in all the years of stock trading. It's too scary. More than 3,000 stocks are hitting the limit down. What a concept. Only about 5,000 stocks are in our A-share market and over 3,000 are hitting the limit. This is not just 1,000 stocks hitting the limit down. This is almost the entire market hitting the limit. After 5 years, we witnessed history again. The last time there was a single-day plunge of more than 7% was in February 2020. At that time, it was due to the impact of the mask incident. It plunged 9% that morning, and 3,000 stocks hit the limit. Before that, it was 2015 and 2016. At that time, A-shares were at a historical high and began to plummet from more than 5,000 points. Leveraged funds fled, circuit breakers, and various disasters took turns. This time it was because of the reciprocal tariffs. I believe that before today, many people could not imagine this time would be so destructive. I could not have imagined it either. It's estimated that many people's profits have been wiped out this year. Not only that, I asked my friend, and he also lost all his earnings last year.
兄弟们，我都不敢打开账户看了，太他妈吓人了。
1,000 stocks hit the limit down, and there are still a few of them. It's beyond psychological expectations and almost like a stock market crash. Please don't ask me how much I lost today. I once set a historical record. My highest time in one day was 15 limit ups, but I set my record again today. I hit 27 limit downs in one day, and only one red was on my hands. If you want to compete with me, you are still short today. Oh really, I don't even dare to hope to double my money this year. I will be satisfied with a 30% return this year. Now you are convinced and know the strength of the United States. It is not only a leader in the military but also a king in the financial field. If it coughs, the whole world will tremble. Seeing the stock market continue to fall, some people cried, some felt heartbroken, but some accepted the fact and saw it through. Look, this is my husband, a full-time stock trader for 5 years. Since he started trading stocks, he has always eaten breakfast at home and was reluctant to eat out. Today, he actually spent 82 cents for a bowl of noodles outside. Is it delicious? It's tasty. This man usually uses the money he saves to invest in stocks. He is in his prime, but most of his hair has turned gray. Now he may have figured out that eating well is better than saving money to invest in stocks. This wave of the stock market crash has really hit the hearts of the little pinks hard. To be honest, I have a headache now. It's only been a few days in April and I'm negative 12 in my account. I thought it was bad enough in the morning, but I felt even more disgusted in the afternoon. I couldn't sell anything in the afternoon. I really couldn't sell anything. Last week, I said I wanted to support the country, but now I'm in hell. Who will help me? Is the sky falling? After reading all these messages, I'm going to the emergency room to trade stocks. Oh my god, the market is falling too much. Thousands of stocks have hit the limit, and more than 4,000 stocks are down more than 7 points. What the hell is going on? Where are those people who shouted yesterday that they would protect the market for the country? Why are you running? Don't run. Oh my god, this is crazy. One blogger said, some retail investors are still buying at the bottom, you know. I have reminded people not to buy at the bottom, but many retail investors still choose to protect the market for the country. Now you are protecting it to the end, and we retail investors are protecting it to the end. The rescue policy has not come, the rescue funds have not come, and the institutions have taken the lead in running away. If the institutions had not taken the lead in running away, would it be like this today? Would there be more than 2,000 stocks that have hit the limit down? Brothers, don't buy stocks at the bottom of the market if you have a short position. There are 2 opportunities to run in the morning. If you haven't run yet, wait for the stock to recover in the afternoon, dash and short your position after running. Well, this market is unplayable. Isn't it true that the whole network was calling for protecting the market for the country yesterday? We were all protecting the market for the country, but who was running away? Who was running away with so much of the funds? Do we retail investors have so much money? On April 2nd, 2025, US President Trump announced a 34% tariff increase on China. The CCP is the only country subject to tariffs by the US that is taking countermeasures. The Beijing authorities announced that starting April 10th, tariffs of the same magnitude will be imposed on US goods exported to China. Half an hour before the close of trading on April 7th at 2:30 p.m. that day, the CCP's official media, in the name of authoritative figures, released news that Central Huijin Investment Limited is actively carrying out market stabilization operations. 15 minutes before the closing, Central Huijin Investment Limited directly issued an announcement stating that it is firmly optimistic about the development prospects of China's capital market. It said it fully recognizes the current value of A-share allocation and has once again increased its exchange-traded funds ETF holdings. It will continue to increase its holdings in the future and firmly maintain the stable operation of the capital market. Although the CCP has shown a willingness to rescue the market, the outside world does not favor it. William Shin, chairman of Springshan Pujiang Investment Management, believes that such support from Beijing authorities is not enough to offset the impact of the intensified trade war, in which companies are struggling to place orders, set prices, and retain customers. Looking for bargains now is like catching a falling knife, so I'm going to hold on to cash until things are a little more stable, he said. September 2024 to the end of the year, the Central Bank of China has launched and improved two structural monetary policy tools. Measures such as lowering the reserve requirement ratio and interest rates are being taken to boost the stock market. The first tool is the Securities, Funds, and Insurance Company Exchange Facility. In other words, assets such as bonds, stock ETFs, and CSI 300 constituent stocks can be used as collateral to exchange for highly liquid assets such as government bonds and central bank bills from the Bank of China. Still, the funds obtained from trading these assets can only be used to invest in the stock market. The second tool is stock repurchases, increased holdings, and re-loans. At that time, China had 21 national financial institutions that could issue loans to qualified listed companies and major shareholders. The Chinese stock market rose by an astonishing 40% within a week. However, as investors waited for more concrete policies from the CCP in the following days, the market began to cool down. By the beginning of 2025, signs of disillusionment had begun. As of the close of January 14th this year, the Shanghai and Shenzhen stock markets fell by about 6%, making them the worst performing significant markets in the world. Li Hengqing, an economist at the Institute for Information and Strategy in the US, once told overseas Chinese media that the CCP government created this wave of China's stock market rebound. This is similar to the rise of the stock market in 2015. Both are policy bull markets forcibly promoted by the Beijing authorities. The purpose is to get China's approximately 1.5 trillion yuan of personal deposits to be invested in the stock market. The outcome will most likely repeat the 2015 stock market crash. China Aid Association's comments on the Chinese stock market also pointed out that the chronic disease of the Chinese stock market is the same as all the chronic diseases in China today. And the reason is that China has no rule of law, freedom, and human rights. Because the CCP is keen to stimulate and create false bubbles through power means, thereby tempting and deceiving the Chinese people to pay money to rescue the market, the CCP will inevitably bring waves of severe disasters to the Chinese people. But judging from the words of those little pinks who have been hurt by the reality, some of them have begun to think about the fundamental role of the CCP in this wave of stock market crashes. On August 5, 2024, the CCP's old friend, Bangladesh Prime Minister Hasina, hastily resigned and fled to India amid protests from people across the country. Protesters rushed into Hasina's residence and people celebrated the victory on the streets. On August 6 of the same year, the day after Hasina fled, the Bangladesh CCP Composite Index rose by 4.8%, and the stock market also recorded its most significant increase since March 2020. During this period, many Chinese netizens who celebrated the victory of the Bangladesh protesters also flocked to the news of the stock market surge to leave comments and likes, and they all implied that they also hoped that the Chinese stock market would experience the same. Some people angrily said, "What enlightenment did you give us?" Others sarcastically said, "The source of the endless decline has been found. We have found a way to make the stock market soar. We finally understand why the stock market is not rising, and so this is why it's always at 3,000 points. So this is how the stock market rises." Some people said, "The stock market is proof of a problem," and others pointed out, "The operation was successful." It seems that justice is in the hearts of the people. Although the CCP has deceived many people into talking about patriotism, giving people the feeling that the party and the country are not distinguished, when the stock market plummets, many people are really hurt by real money. They also see in cold reality what the CCP's active rescue of the market can bring to them. Even if the CCP's slogans are louder, people have recognized the true face of the CCP authorities from the bottom of their hearts. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.